Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ElectroJet Rock Show. I'm your humble host, Jett. And I have with me, coming to you from Los Angeles, Professor Electro. How's it going, Professor?
It's going great, Talking about one of my favorite bands tonight. So, everybody, please come along for the ride. Like and subscribe to our channel. Love to have you guys along.
Yeah, please do like and subscribe. We're going to talk probably about my favorite band of all time tonight, at least in rock and roll. That would be UFO. Won't you please welcome from England, UFO? Yeah, I'm a big UFO fan. Saw them at the Santa Monica Civic opening for Rush on the Lights Out Tour 1977. Phenomenal gig. We're going to talk about the Micheal Schenker years tonight, and we'll leave the non-Schenker stuff for part two. So anyway, what are your feelings on the Schenker UFO records?
Oh yeah, just like you, they're some of my favorite music of all time. Just love Scheker, and then you have Mogg, and just a lot of other great musicians in that band that all contributed. So it was like, to me, it was like a super group. And Mogg just was the perfect complement, I thought, to Schenker's, neoclassical, beautiful guitar playing. And it was just great. But like a lot of great bands, too volatile to stay together too long.
Yeah. So, what on the Schenker songs do you like? Which songs, or what records?
I'd start probably in '74 with Phenomenon, because it had Rock Bottom and Dr. Doctor. And then, of course, their sound developed to me. I liked their sound more and more as they moved on through the 70s. In 75, you had Force It, that had Let It Roll, and Mother Mary, This Kid's Out in the Street, Shoot Shoot. Then 76,
all masterpieces, by the way.
Oh yeah, all those. And then 76, you had No Heavy Petting with Natural Thing, I'm a Loser. 77, you had Lights Out, which is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's when they got Ron Nevison, who engineered Bad Company and Zeppelin and the Who. They got him to engineer it, and yeah, the Sonics definitely. They probably had more budget too, but the Sonics definitely improved.
I think that was the first album with Paul Raymond on it too, on Love to Love.
Yes, it is.
Guitar, which is probably maybe one of my favorite, rock songs of all time, especially on, the 1979, the live album, again, one of my favorite albums of all time, the double live album, Strangers in the Night. Just phenomenal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
From cut to cut.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I never get tired of listening to that. There's a lot of other songs that are great that I get, after a while, I hear them on the radio. I don't want to hear them anymore. There's no songs on that album that I get tired of. They're just
UFO, probably the greatest rock group of all time, most underrated, and definitely maybe not the greatest musicians, except for Schenker, but the sum of the parts is greater than the. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. How's that?
Very, very well said.
I didn't say it well though. How do you say that saying again?
The sum is greater than the parts. Basically,
right.
Together, they just created a great team, like a supergroup.
They're absolutely one of the coolest rock bands of all time. Big fan of them. Glad to see them back in the day. Yeah, Lights Out is a masterpiece. I love Obsession. The sound on that is just phenomenal. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. Love Obsession. It's a masterpiece.
And all those guys, Mogg was a great lyricist, and again, not the greatest technical singer, but he did what he did well, and he knew his spot, and he stayed in it. He knew his lane, and he stayed in it. Pete Way also just, Mogg was kind of a static singer, as David Lee Roth calls people like that, kind of stand there, a little more of a, like a metal crooner almost. Then you had Pete Way, who was just wild, running around, just a wild man on stage, on bass. And Paul Raymond was like, the ultimate sixth man. He was just a great keyboard player and a great guitar player. Maybe the best musician next to Schenker in the band. And then, they had different drummers, but Andy Parker on the live album.
Fifth member of the band.
Right. And then, later on you had, we won't talk about him too much tonight, but you had Paul Chapman and Bernie Marsden and, Vinnie Moore later on. So but nobody.
Atomic Tommy.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's true. But Schenker, man, I mean, he's just one of my favorite guitar players. So, yeah, that live album to me is just freaking phenomenal. Just one of the best albums of all time.
Yeah, if you're only going to buy one, if you're a youngster out there and you're going to only get one UFO record because you're not too familiar with them, the best one to get would be the live album "Strangers in the Night," and then you can go from there. And we will be talking about UFO, the Tonk years. In another episode. So don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys, you rock and rollers out there. This is Jett signing off with
the professor from Los Angeles and
rock and roll.
Rock and roll.